In the season of the political Royal Rumble, there is a parallel contest being fought out in the cauldron called Indian cricket, where the top post of the head coach is up for grabs. The only difference being that while there is utmost clarity in terms of candidature as to who is fighting in the political arena in Indian cricket, things are starkly different where nobody knows who's in the fray when it comes to Indian cricket. With time running out to apply for the head coach's vacancy, Jai Shah, the BCCI secretary, dropped a huge bombshell this morning as he put out a statement which has given the head coach saga a new twist altogether. The first name to start doing the rounds once the vacancy was made public happened to be that of foreign coaches, while former Kiwi captain and now head coach of the Chennai Super Kings, Stephen Fleming's name was the first to come up. Three-time World Cup winner and current head coach of the Delhi Capitals, Ricky Ponting, was the next name to start doing the rounds, along with that of fellow Australian Justin Langer. While Ponting hasn't had a fruitful time in the IPL with the Delhi franchise, his Aussie mentality and pedigree was never in question. Justin Langer's name came a little later into the picture, but he too became a part of the talk as someone who helped Australia rebuild after the Sandpaper Gate crisis. Quality being looked at closely, especially with Indian cricket, looking at a similar situation after the T20 World Cup where Indian cricket mostly will have an overall. But just a day after the two Aussies confirmed on various platforms about them being approached for the lucrative job, the BCCI has come out and completely changed the narrative. Now, in a statement released by Jai Shah, the BCCI secretary, he says, and I quote, "Neither I nor BCCI has approached any former Australian player with a coaching offer. The reports circulating in some section of the media are completely incorrect," unquote. Interestingly, just a day before BCCI's statement came out, Ricky Ponting himself had given credence to all reports linking him to the head coach's job in an interview he gave to the sports governing body, the ICC, where he accepted that he had been approached by the BCCI for the top job, contrary to what the BCCI is now claiming.
There was a few little one-on-one conversations during the IPL, just to get a level of interest from me as to do it. You know, everyone knows if you take a job working with the Indian team, you can't be involved with an IPL team, so it takes that out of it as well. And a national head coach is a sort of 10 or 11 months of the year job. And as much as I'd love to do it, it just doesn't fit into my lifestyle right now and the things that I really enjoy doing. There was a few little one-on-one.
Meanwhile, as for Ponting's compatriot, Langer has set tongues wagging and stirred a major controversy with his latest revelation on a podcast where he recounts his private chat with LSG captain KL Rahul that actually helped him come out to a decision of not wanting to be India coach.
No, I'm not ready to leap back into a national role. The pressure of doing it in India, I remember talking to KL Rahul about it, and he said, you know, if you think there's pressure and politics of an IPL team, multiply that by 1,000 coaching India. You know, it was a good bit of advice, I guess. It'd be an awesome job, but not for me at the moment.
Inadvertently and unfortunately, Langer making those comments about politics in Indian cricket has put KL Rahul in a precarious situation after a private conversation was leaked to the public. Who knows if he faces repercussions for painting Indian cricket in a manner that dissuaded Langer for the job. What this also does is that it reflects the BCCI, its workings and Indian cricket at large in poor light. But at this point, it is worth revisiting Justin Langer's brush with controversy as coach of Australia, where he was at crossroads with Test captain Pat Cummins to the extent that it was reported that his exit as coach came largely because of a revolt by players who weren't happy with his man management. It is for this reason that his words about KL Rahul and head coach's job have to be taken with a pinch of salt. Going back to Stephen Fleming, who has also reportedly distanced himself from the head coach's role, while he has not made any public statement as yet, CEO of Chennai Super Kings, Kasi Viswanathan, someone who shares a strong rapport, believes that rigors of the job may not necessarily excite the Kiwi international.
Actually, I got a lot of calls from the Indian journalists inquiring whether Stephen is interested in taking up a job with the Indian team. So I jocularly asked Stephen, have you applied for the Indian coaching assignment? And Stephen just laughed and said, do you want me to? It's not going to be his cup of tea because he doesn't like to be involved for 9 to 10 months in a year. That is my feeling. I have not discussed anything more with him.
So at the moment, it seems like that the Indian coach's job is a crown of thorns since nobody wants to wear it, especially the foreign contenders. But maybe the BCCI was anyway not too keen on them due to reasons that the BCCI has now alluded to. While it has not been mentioned explicitly in the press release from Jay Shah, it is effectively a meaning that says that Indian candidate is BCCI's primary lookout. The statement reads, if you look at the statement, you'll know why we're saying that, because the statement reads that BCCI is focused on identifying individuals who possess a deep understanding of Indian cricket structure. It further says that it is crucial the coach has in-depth knowledge of our domestic cricket framework to truly elevate Team India to the next level. So if you read between the lines, it does suggest that it is the Indian coach that the BCCI is after. Now, looking at the last 3 recruitments for the said position, it appears that the BCCI intends to stay with its approach of going in with a former India cricketer. Anil Kumble, Ravi Shastri and Rahul Dravid have all been long-time servants of Indian cricket and have an understanding of how cricket works in the country right from the grassroots level. So that is why these were the 3 coaches that India went with earlier, suggesting they may want to stick with an Indian coach. Now, if BCCI indeed has its heart set on an Indian coach, then Gambhir at the moment seems to be the front runner. His stocks may have risen dramatically over the last 2 months following KKR's dominant march into the IPL final. Even prior to reuniting with KKR, Gambhir had taken LSG into the playoffs for 2 successive seasons, further consolidating his credentials as a sharp cricketing mind. Now remember, the deadline for applications is May the 27th, which will be followed through a screening process and then decide that who is it that the BCCI want to go with. Now, while June 4th will tell the nation who the next PM of the country will be, the cricket fans will probably have to wait a little longer to know who will guide the Indian team in the future.